kind of fell back into that, but it's about my grandma, and she did pass away a few years ago. Mm-hmm. It rained that day, and as I sat by my window and remembered, as you would say, just look to God and He will never fail you. And as I noticed tears start to fall, I only let 2 slide down my cheek as I wiped them away, because this has to be the day that I showed I could be strong and give you to God as He had given you to me. And even though it's tough to see why you had to go so soon, I have to accept it, because I'll be placing a rose in your hands and a kiss on your cheek for the last time by noon. And as I sit here with this Bible that contains every memory of sleepless nights from you reading to me when I had bad colds and a runny nose, I look at the first story you ever read to me of Noah and his ark. Then my mom gently knocks on my door because it's time for us to leave so the ceremony can start. In the car, I bow my head and I close my eyes, and a small prayer from my lips begins to arise. Rain pitter-patters on the window of the car as we drive, and the funeral home where your body lays is where we arrive. At the front, in a fancy wooden casket, is where you lay. Outside, thunder and lightning gives the mood of such a rough day. I sit and I listen to a woman sing that to this day I can't remember the name of, but I remember it being about God's love and how I should remember you would always be with Him, and to turn my mind up high whenever things got dim. But as I look to your body laying still, hands crossed like you're asleep, every emotion begins to rise out of me, and I want to weep, but I can't because I need to stay strong. And to this day, I still think that not crying was wrong. I never really got the chance to say goodbye to you. Yeah, I kissed your cheek and whispered I love you always before the ceremony was through, but I never really accepted what happened and the amount of time of having to say goodbye. Like, why? What made this have to be the time that you had to leave without telling me? And it was just hard to see or know the explanation behind why God had you go. But thanks to age and wisdom, now I know. When the ceremony ended, the rain stopped, and it's weird because on the ground there were no water drops. And it's weird from such a horrific storm that we heard, but to look up and be mistook for words. The same thing that you read to me about in this book that I held so dear. But as I look, I can hear in your soft voice telling me that life will be all right, and soon I will see. And now this beautiful array of colors ranging from orange to green, since your face is the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. Most people think that it's only a place where at the end you can find a little leprechaun waiting with a pot of gold. But for me, it's a memory that will never get old. I keep it close to my heart because now I know when this beautiful thing appears, it's called a spectrum of a rainbow.